Now, after having decided to start a business, the next step for an entrepreneur is to decide onto the type of the organization he wants to set up to start a business, right? We will be taking the second chapter, that is forms of business organization. Now, there are basically 5 forms in which a business can be organized, right? Namely, sole proprietorship, joint Hindu undivided family business, partnership, cooperative societies, and joint stock company, right? So a proprietor has to weigh the pros and cons of each and every form of organization and decide onto one form which is best suited for the business that he is going to enter into. Right? The choice of the form of organization depends upon a lot of factors, that is the size of the business, the nature of the business, right? Whichever is the best suited, right, will have to be taken up. Let us first understand each form of business organization, and then we are going to decide and then we'll also do a comparative study of all the forms of business organization, and then I'll let you know the different factors that a business organization has to take into account while deciding that which form of business organization should it go in for, right? Now, sole proprietorship, as the name suggests, sole means one, single, and proprietor means owner. So it is self-explanatory that sole proprietorship under the sole proprietorship form of organization, there is only a single owner. It is headed by one person. It is basically a one-man show. Here, one man, it is a form of an organization wherein a single person owns, controls, and manages the entire show, right? And is the sole recipient of all profits and losses. Clear? Now, if we come to the features of sole proprietorship form of an organization, the first and foremost feature here is it is single ownership. That is, a business is owned, controlled, and managed by a single person, right? He is the one who is going to decide कि मेरे को कितने लोगों को और एम्प्लॉय करना है, किसको कितनी सैलरी मिलनी है, कितना रॉ मटेरियल आना है, कितना स्टॉक खरीदा जाएगा, ठीक है, प्रॉफिट को मुझे अपनी जेब में डालना है कि दोबारा से बिजनेस में लगाना है. All decisions are going to be taken by a single person. All profits are going to go into the pockets of a single person. It is basically single ownership, right? It is owned by a single person. Second characteristic is ease of formation and closure. There aren't any legal formalities basically which are to be pursued or which are to be carried out for sole proprietorship form of organization. Now, when we talk about sole proprietorship, either the best example that you're going to that I can give you is that of a shopkeeper. ठीक है, शॉपकीपर दैट्स अ सिंगल ओनर, एक अकेले बंदे की दुकान है, वही सब कुछ संभालता है और सब देखता है, राइट? तो फॉर हिम व्हाट आर द लीगल फॉर्मेलिटीज दैट ही हैज टू ऑब्टेन? आपने देखा होगा उसकी शॉप में सिर्फ एक सर्टिफिकेट लगा होता है दैट ही हैज बीन ऑथराइज्ड टू ओपन दिस शॉप, right? He just has to obtain that particular certificate. Otherwise, there are no legal formalities that have to be complied with, right? As far as opening up of a shop and all is concerned, right? Then third is risk bearing. As I told you that it is a case, or in this case there is a single owner, okay? One person manages the entire show. ठीक है, अगर हम ये बोल रहे हैं रिस्क बेयरिंग, ही इज द वन हु हैज टू बियर द रिस्क इन द बिजनेस, राइट? रिस्क क्या है? फायदा भी हो सकता है, नुकसान भी हो सकता है. तो इन केस देयर इज प्रॉफिट, दैट आल्सो बिलोंग्स टू दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन ओनली, एंड इन केस देयर इज अ लॉस, दैट आल्सो बिलोंग्स टू one person only. So he is the one, he has to bear the risk single-handedly. He cannot share his risk with anyone, right? Then unlimited liability. Now, what is the meaning of unlimited liability? I'm sure this term is pretty new for you. What it means is that in case, let's say, मैंने अपनी दुकान शुरू की, और जब दुकान शुरू की तो मैंने एक लोन लिया किसी से, राइट? मैंने बैंक से लोन लिया अबाउट 3.5 lakhs का, ठीक है? अब दुकान इतनी चली नहीं मेरी, राइट, और मुझे हर महीने की मैं इंस्टॉलमेंट आफ्टर अबाउट अ फ्यू मंथ्स आई वाज नॉट एबल टू ऑनर माय कमिटमेंट्स, फाइनेंशियल कमिटमेंट्स. आई वाज नॉट एबल टू पे दी मंथली इंस्टॉलमेंट्स जो कि मुझे बैंक को देनी थी, मैं दे नहीं पा रही थी. नाउ सिंस इट इज अ sole proprietorship form of an organization where there is only single owner, ठीक है, इस केस में अगर बैंक को वो अपना इंस्टॉलमेंट्स हर महीने की नहीं दे पा रहा है, राइट, तो बैंक के पास क्या ऑप्शन है? सबसे पहले उसके दुकान में जितना सामान है बैंक वो सब कैप्चर कर लेगा, ठीक है, सारा कुछ फोरफीट कर लेगा उससे, सारा ले लेगा उससे, कॉन्फिस्केट कर लेगा, राइट. एवरीथिंग द बैंक इज गोइंग टू टेक अप. उसको बेच के जितना पैसा आया वो बैंक का. अगर अभी भी लाइक लेट्स से कि जितना दुकान पे स्टॉक पड़ा था उस सबको बेच के 3.5 लाख का लोन लिया था, उसमें से 60,000 मैंने ऑलरेडी पे कर दिया, बचा 290. ओके, जो दुकान में सामान पड़ा था उसको बेचा तो मेरे पास आ गए 1,50,000. 1,50,000 आ गए, 290 में से 1,50,000 गए तो 140, right? Now 1,40,000 bank is not going to take it as a loss for itself कि he has been declared bankrupt so 140 is my loss. No, bank is going to now take his personal assets, meaning if in case of sole proprietorship form of an organization, if the owner fails to make the payment on time, then even his personal assets can be utilized for making the business payments. Even his personal assets can be used to honor the payments. This is called as that his liability is unlimited, meaning his liability is not limited to his business assets. His liability can include his personal assets also, can use his personal assets also to honor the business commitments, right? Then comes no separate entity. I'm sure you must have done it in your accounting accounts का जब second chapter आपने किया होगा principles of accounting, right? There we say separate legal entity का हम आपको एक principle समझाते हैं, wherein we say that business and the proprietor they are two different individuals having their own entities. So when journal entries are recorded, right, in the books of accounts, they have to be recorded from the point of view of the proprietor, not from the point of they have to be recorded from the point of view of the business, not from the point of view of the proprietor, right? Even the proprietor is treated, right, the money that is the money that the proprietor has invested in the business, even that is treated as a liability, right? Now according to this principle, when we say, many students they feel that ma'am you say that there is a separate legal entity principle, separate accounting entity principle. Here you are saying there is no separate legal entity. Now my dear students, these are two different terms. Here I am using the word separate legal entity. Business and the proprietor will always be two separate accounting entities, meaning for the purpose of making the accounts, they will always be considered as two separate entities. तो अलग लोग उनको मानेंगे हम, right? Business and the owner. But in the eyes of law, in case of sole proprietorship form of organization, they are one and the same thing. Because they are one and the same thing in the eyes of the law, that is the reason why the owner has an unlimited liability. Because he doesn't have an entity separate from that of the business, that is the reason why he has an unlimited liability. That is the reason why if his business assets are not sufficiently enough to honor his financial commitments, his personal assets are going to be used for the same. Single person management. Now, when we talk of management, management includes planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. These are 5 functions of management, and in larger organizations we have we take these functions as separate departments altogether, right? But because sole proprietorship form of an organization, it is a single man show, so all these functions of management, they are being taken care of by a single person. He is the one who plans, he is the one who executes the plans, he is the one who sees whether everything is going as per the plans or not, if there are any deviations, then what is the corrective measures to be taken. All these tasks are being performed by a single person. Last point that comes up is lack of continuity. It means कि अगर मेरी दुकान है, right? If I have a shop, if I am dead, business comes to an end. Until unless I have a son who can take over, otherwise the business comes to an end, right? So these are the various features. These are the various features of sole proprietorship form of an organization. Now from the features only we can decipher, we can find out that what are the merits and limitations of these types of organization. Now what could be the probable merits? What could be the probable merits? Okay. First of all, I think the first one that I can see from here only is ease of formation and closure. That means there aren't many legal formalities which are to be performed in case of sole proprietorship form of organization as compared to the other forms of organizations, right? Second, from here only if I can see, okay, this one we've already covered, simple formation and closure. Then comes, it's a single person management or we say single ownership. Okay? Now, what happens is that if I am the only one who has to take a decision, right? Decisions can be taken at a faster pace. Why? Because I don't have to consult too many people and then arrive at a conclusion and then finalize my decision, right? So if I am the only one, if I am the sole decision maker, the pace at which the decisions are going to be taken is much faster. So therefore an advantage that there is quick decision making. Many a times the environment, it offers you many opportunities, right? If you make a delay in taking the decision or to tap that opportunity, right, you've lost it. So in this case it becomes easier, okay? You are in a better, because you are taking the decisions quickly, you are able to respond to the opportunities that come your way in a faster manner, right? Then comes confidentiality of information, right? Because I am the whole and sole person taking care of the business or managing the entire business, right? So I don't have to share this information with anyone. I am not sharing it with anyone. Whatever are the secrets of my business, whatever are the loopholes of my business, they rest only with me. Everything is can be kept very confidential. Direct incentive of profit. Now, ऐसा होता है कि आप जब किसी के लिए काम करते हैं, राइट, तो आपको लगता है दैट ओके माय जॉब टाइमिंग्स आर फ्रॉम 9 to 5 और 9 to 5:30. आपको 9 to 5:30 में मेरे से जितना काम कराना करा लीजिए. Thereafter if you tell me to work, I'll have a big problem. Either you pay me overtime or I'll have a big face made. Why is that so? Time that I'm putting in the office is not directly related to my salary. I am only going to get a fixed amount of salary, right? But if it is the other way around, अगर मेरा अपना काम है, ठीक है, आपने देखा होगा जिनका अपना काम है वो दिन रात they are in the office at the initial stage, दिन रात ऑफिस में लग रहे हैं, but they don't mind it. क्यों? Because उनका अपना काम है, जितना ज्यादा वो काम करेंगे, जितना ज्यादा प्रॉफिट होगा, सबका सब उन्हीं की जेब में तो जाएगा ना, right? The entire amount of profit, they are the ones who are going to take it home. So they don't mind putting in an extra effort, because if their extra effort is going to increase the profit by about 10 to 20%, that is not going to go to anyone else but in their pockets only. Then sense of accomplishment, right? If I start from, let's say मैंने अगर शुरुआत की, right, from one shop, from one single shop, right? I started to sell some food items, right? Maybe some fast food or something like that. Now I started as a single shop owner, fine. Thereafter, people started to like that exquisite Indian snacks that I was serving, right? Demand increased. So I thought of venturing into other parts of the cities also. So within a period of about 5 years, I had 5 outlets in 5 different areas, right? Again, I worked really hard to achieve this target of opening 5 different stores in 5 different parts of the city, right? But there is a sense of accomplishment that from one store man, I have now become to a person with 5 stores in a single city. There is a sense of accomplishment. There is a sense of accomplishment. There is a sense of achievement, right? Which further motivates you to work hard and reach higher goals. Then comes flexibility of operations. Flexibility of operations, you are not time bound. Like I just told you, you want to work during the day, night, there are no time hours for you, right? There are no fixed time, there is no fixed time for you, there are no fixed office timings for you that you have to work from 9 to 5:30 only, right? So there is a lot of flexibility in case of sole proprietorship form of organizations. Decisions can be taken, right? Decisions can be taken quickly, and the advantages of opportunities and threats in the external environment, right, can be reaped on an immediate basis. Now coming to the limitations. Now if it has merits, it is going to have limitations as well. What are the limitations? Again, from the features only. You shouldn't really get boggled down that कि आपको many a times from my experience I'm telling you, बच्चों को डर लग जाता है from business studies. Reason being, इतने सारे merits हैं, इतने सारे features, limitations हर एक points के, तो हम भूल जाएंगे सब कुछ. You don't really have to worry. If you understood the features properly, right, you'll be able to find out the merits and limitations from the features itself, right? When we talk of limitations, biggest limitation of sole proprietorship form of organization is unlimited liability. For the sole proprietor, it is the biggest limitation. Why? Because even his personal assets are going to be involved in paying off his business liabilities, right? Then what can be the other one? Single person management. A single person has to shoulder all the responsibility, has to manage the entire show. He has to plan, execute the plans, he has to organize, he has to staff, he has to direct, and he has to control. A single person may not be good at everything, right? He may not be good at everything, right? He may not have good communication skills, but because it's a single man show, so he has to do it himself. So his business may suffer. Then lack of continuity. Because if the owner dies, the business comes to an end. The business comes to an end. तीन तो इसी में से निकल आए आपके lack of continuity, unlimited liability, right? Then limited resources. Now limited resources, limited finance. एक बंदे के पास अपना कुछ पैसा होगा जिसको कि हम कहते हैं कैपिटल, ठीक है? या थोड़ा पैसा वो और इधर उधर से अरेंज कर सकता है, उसको हम बोलते हैं लायबिलिटी. हम बोलते हैं अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन होती है आपकी एसेट्स इज इक्वल टू कैपिटल प्लस लायबिलिटी, ठीक है? तो एसेट्स खरीदने के लिए आप अपनी कैपिटल डालते हो, ठीक है, प्लस आप बाहर से कुछ लोन लेते हो, right? But for a single person, for a sole proprietor, how much of money can he invest? How much of his own money can he invest in the business? That's going to be limited, right? Because it's a single person organization, so the amount of the financial resources are really limited, and a single person can get only a limited amount of money as loan from the bank. So his financial resources are really limited. Lack of continuity I have explained, unlimited liability I have explained, limited managerial skills I have explained, limited scope of expansion. Because he has limited financial resources, the scope of expansion is also limited. And secondly, if the organization expands, like I told you, if he grows from about 1 store to 5 stores in about 5 years, then at one point of time it will get very difficult for him to manage things. So then he will have to switch over from the sole proprietor form of organization to any other form of organization, right? Because sole proprietorship form of organization is only suitable for small scale businesses requiring small amount of capital to be contributed.